Okay, today we're unpacking a topic, literally, that you absolutely have to get right if you're a supplier in a high-tech industries like semiconductors or nanotech. We're talking about clean room packaging. And believe me, in this world, your packaging isn't just a box. It's a critical, make-or-break part of your client's entire operation. It sounds a little over the top, right? But for companies working in advanced manufacturing, that's just the reality. We're talking about super-controlled environments where one tiny unwanted particle can completely contaminate a production run, causing catastrophic failures and, yeah, millions in losses. This isn't just about being neat, it's a massive business risk. So what is a clean room, really? Well, think of it like a fortress. It's an environment that's been obsessively engineered to keep contamination out. The air is constantly filtered, the surfaces are sterile, and absolutely everything that goes inside is meticulously controlled. Right. Let's really dive into this high-stakes world of the clean room. This is so much more than a tidy office space. It is a sealed-off battleground against contamination. And if you're a supplier, your package is standing right at the front gate. And here is the absolute heart of the problem for you. If your client is assembling their high-tech product inside one of these clean rooms, your packaging often has to go in with it. All of a sudden, your regular cardboard box, those foam inserts, the plastic wrap, they all become potential Trojan horses, ready to sneak in those costly, project-killing particles. So, how in the world do you deal with this? Well, thankfully, it all comes down to one simple but incredibly important question. Get this one right, and it will guide your entire strategy.
This is the fork in the road. The first thing you have to find out is this. Does my package actually go inside the clean room, or does it get unpacked outside? If the answer is no, it stays outside, you can breathe a huge sigh of relief. Your life is way simpler. But if the answer is yes, well, you're about to enter a whole new world of very strict rules and requirements. This single question changes everything.
So let's quickly cover that easier path. If your package stays outside, standard packaging is usually good enough as long as it does a fantastic job protecting the part itself. From there, you just have to weigh your options. Maybe reusable packaging for long-term savings, or single use if you don't ship that often. Simple enough. But what happens when that package has to go inside? All right, for everyone on that yes path, things are about to get a little more complicated. But don't worry. There's a really clever system for handling it, the multi-layer solution. The best way to get your head around this is to picture one of those Russian nesting dolls. You're not just dealing with one box, you're unpeeling a whole series of layers. And each layer has a very specific job and gets removed at a specific checkpoint on the journey into the heart of the clean room. So here's how that journey looks. The outermost, dirtiest chipping layer, that gets ripped off way outside in a totally normal, uncontrolled area. Then the next layer comes off in what's called the gray area. It's kind of like an airlock. Only the final, super clean layers are allowed to actually cross the threshold into the clean room, where the very last one is carefully opened to reveal the pristine part. And in the industry, these layers have actual names. The send assay, or SA, that's your tough outer shell for shipping. The clean assay, or CA, is the shield in the middle. And finally, the transport assay, or TA, that's the ultra-clean inner sanctum that actually goes into the clean room with the part. Okay, so you've got the layers down, but what are those layers actually made of? Well, that's decided by the next level of the game, the ISO standards. Your client will tell you exactly which ISO standard you need to meet. And here's the one thing you have to remember about these numbers. They're kind of backwards. A lower ISO number means a cleaner room and much, much stricter rules. ISO 7 is pretty common, but if your client tells you they need ISO 5, you're getting into the final boss level of clean. So for a common ISO 7 clean room, your choices for that inner transportacy get really specific. You can use stuff like special flight cases with sealed seams, certain kinds of plastics, but what you absolutely cannot use is anything that sheds particles. So wood, paper, and cardboard, they are completely forbidden. Out of the question. Now, remember that ISO 5 boss level? Well, here, the rules get even tougher. You see that foam material that was just kind of tolerated in ISO 7? For ISO 5, it's totally forbidden. All foam is out. Even certain metals like plain old blank aluminum are banned. The point is, as the standard gets stricter, your list of what you're allowed to use gets a whole lot shorter. And here is a massive insider tip for you. Huge industry players like the semiconductor giant ASML, they often have their own internal grading systems. So you might think their grade 2 clean is the same as ISO 5, but it's not. The lesson here is always confirm the exact standard your client is using. Never, ever assume. Wow. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground, from Russian dolls to ISO standards. But if you only remember one single thing from this entire explainer, please let it be this next point. It really all boils down to one single, critically important action you need to take. You have to treat cleanroom packaging as part of your product's design process, not just a box you figure out at the last minute. The absolute smartest thing you can do is bring a packaging specialist in from the very beginning. They live and breathe this stuff, the materials, the standards, the processes. Waiting until you're ready to ship is just a recipe for disaster, a one-way ticket to delays, higher costs, and a seriously unhappy client. So in the end, your packaging is so much more than a box. It's really a statement about your commitment to quality, about how seriously you take your role in your customer's success. And the question you really have to answer is, will your packaging be a gateway for their next big innovation, or will it be a gateway for contamination? Thanks for joining us on The Explainer.